We are here to govern, not to bury. That was President Tinubu's chat today in Makurdi, a state capital that has become far too familiar with the sounds of mourning. In a town hall meeting with stakeholders, the president vowed to convert Benue's long-running insecurity into economic prosperity. He promised arrests, intelligence reforms, and the creation of a peace committee that will include non-indigenous and traditional rulers.
We cannot do without one another. Whatever we need to do, I will want us to create this leadership committee now, and then we meet in Abuja to really fashion out the nucleus of a lasting peace. And I'm ready to invest in that peace. And among the traditional rulers, Totif and Ochidoma and others, to be included in this peace committee. I give you the assurance that we will find peace. We will convert this tragedy to prosperity. Again and again, police, I hope your men are on alert to listen to information. How come no arrest has been made?
Earlier in the day, the president visited victims of the Yawata massacre at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital just hours before calling for a voluntary blood donation campaign to aid the wounded. But the most sobering voice came from the traditional ruler of the Tiv Nation, His Royal Majesty James Ayase, who declared, "We are dealing with full-scale attacks from bandits," saying to Mr. President, "Give us peace in Benue State." Governor Hyacinth Alia also echoed that desperation, urging the federal government to create a special fund for victims and pushing again for the establishment of state police, which he called the most sustainable solution to the crisis. Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, we ask the question, is real action finally on the horizon, or is Benue once again trapped in a cycle of promises and pain? Our correspondent Godwin Agwam was at the town hall. He joins me first. Later, I'll speak to retired Major General Chris Olukolade, former military spokesman, on what real security reform should now look like. Let's begin with Godwin. Paint for us the picture today. What was the mood like in that room when President Tinubu walked in? Was this just another political speech, or did he strike a different tone?
Okay, good evening. I would say the visit of the president came with the people of the Benue State nostalgia. One, because of course this is the first time a sitting president will be visiting them since this carnage began in the state. So they felt like that they are being loved. They are loved by the federal government, for the president, the sitting president, to visit them at this time moment for them. And secondly, of course, they are mourning the loss of their loved ones who died in Yelwata. Well, the president was there, and of course, he cheered them up, and he made them understand that he is sharing their grief because the number of persons who died are not people, it's not a number or a figure that the sitting president would want to happen to some people. Of course, he called on them to work in unity, because he feels that it's only when there is disunity that some assailants or criminals will be able to have their way in the state. The president also asked the governor to set up a committee of non-indigenous. I believe that the president is trying to seek perhaps a neutral insight to this crisis. That's why he's calling for a committee of non-indigenous. Of course, perhaps security experts, elders of the state, the traditional ruler of the Totif and the Ochidoma, and so on and so forth. He wants to have an independent insight of what's happening in the state. He also asked the Inspector General of Police to ensure that he makes arrests of the persons who have been causing this trouble in Benue State. He said that he wants to get that kind of information every moment as soon as possible. So I think the IGP was there, and of course he's going to perhaps see what he will do about that.
Quick one, Godwin. You've spoken to some locals and stakeholders. How are residents interpreting this visit, especially with the fact that Mr. President couldn't visit Yelwata because of the rain and flooding?
Well, of course, coming with mixed feelings, they would want the president. But when we spoke with them, they would have loved the president to visit Yelwata, see for himself, test the devastation in Yelwata. But the president appealed to them and apologized. He told them, of course, there was a heavy downpour this morning in Benue State, and of course, across the north central area. In fact, it led to some floods across along the Benue-Lafia road. So the president appealed to them and apologized to them. I told them the reason why he could not visit Yelwata is because of the heavy downpour, and of course, there's a lot of flooding along that road now at the moment. So they are happy that he's there. And even though he is not able to go to that place, his presence alone is bringing some level of relief to them.
All right. Godwin Agwam live for us in Makode. Thank you for the updates there. Let's now bring in retired Major General Chris Olukolade, who's former spokesman of the Defense Headquarters and a respected voice on national security. General Olukolade, thank you for joining us. This crisis, as you know, has festered for over a decade. From your vantage point, there are conversations as to what the root causes are, especially with this latest attack. General Olukolade, I'm asking what you consider the root causes based on your vantage position. Why do you think, what exactly continues to fuel this violence in Benue despite multiple interventions?
Well, thank you for this privilege to make a statement on this issue. And besides, our center, the Center for Crisis Communication, made a statement on this earlier. But in response to your question, I think, and going straight to the point without mincing words, on the part of the security, perhaps the major thing fueling this is maybe lack of very decisive political will to empower the security agencies to go in and flush in this character. And they've stayed too long in that area. But I think the president's statement today gives the right response that the security agencies have been waiting for. I expect that this visit will trigger the required and necessary attention to deal with this issue in a more decisive way. In short, what I'm saying, in case you didn't get me, is that the issue has been fueled by lack of appropriate, evident political will, giving the military the mandate to take very decisive action, both in terms of operational response to the nuisance that is in that area, and some unnecessary politicization, ranging from the terminologies to describe what is going on. If I'm to respond to that, I will say the trouble in Benue, the problem in Benue is
the battery is low.
Headers, farmers clashes. Let's call it by something or another thing. There's evident political willpower and directive to the security agencies. I think we are set to respond properly.
Let's take a short break and we'll be right back for more on this conversation. Stay with us, everyone.